Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Snow White with the Red Hair, chapter 121. After 3 long months, we're finally back. When we last left our heroes, Eisetsu had gotten in the carriage with Madame Lyra, who he had revealed to be Lady Kageya Elise, some kind of relation to Yozumi Elise, who got us into this whole mess with the perfume. Yuzuri back in Lilias worked out how the perfume works by making people associate. It like makes people attracted to the perfume. It makes them think they're attracted to the person wearing the perfume. There's also an antidote in play, which would explain how Yozumi's lover is kind of avoiding this, as well as the blonde woman that Shirayuki tends to. Meanwhile, we see that there is definitely some kind of connection between Eisetsu and Kageya, but Kageya shoves him up the carriage. Eisetsu is immediately beset by bandits who seem to want something from Kageya or have some relation to her, and Eisetsu is almost fucked before Tsuruba comes in for the rescue. By the way, it has been 3 months since I've read any chapter in this series, so I kind of spent the past, 20 minutes trying to, reacquaint myself with what's going on. But I've never been the best at that on a good month, and especially not 3 months later. So I'll try my best, but we'll see. Whatever happens, happens. Anyway, chapter 121. Our picture here is of Zen. Don't know what he's going to be doing in this chapter, given that nothing in this arc has really anything to do with him. To carry out their individual beliefs and continue forward. Okay. So yeah, we open where we left off, with Tsuruba, holding the sword to the bandit's neck. If you can't give your name, I'll kill you. The bandit, kind of looks back at him, and then ducks down and tries to give a sword swipe, one of the two. Sword swipe, slice. Let's go with slice. Slice of his own. But Tsuruba deflects it. And their two blades get kind of caught up in the hilt. And Tsuruba kind of stomps on the bandit's the back of his knee, and then butts him with the hilt of the sword. Ugh. His fellow bandits can just kind of watch, and then Tsuruba turns to stare at them. The 3 bandits kind of get ready for Tsuruba as he comes for them. And we just hear the clack, crunch, howl as Tsuruba just demolishes them, I think. He's finally finished. And Eisetsu has been, leaning on the back of a tree this whole time, just, out of breath. And Tsuruba finally turns to him. Are you injured? And Eisetsu just looks at him, shocked. No. Thank you. You saved me. And Tsuruba just looks at him. It was nothing. What happened? Where is the person you were after? Sorry. I'd intended to hear her side of the story, but I failed. She got away. And Tsuruba asks, you were together in the carriage and left the soiree? That's right. And Tsuruba just snaps at him. Why did you act on your own? And Eisetsu can just kind of, disappointedly or ashamedly look away. Lord Eisetsu! And then Eisetsu just snaps. I've known her a long time. She was someone I never expect to have a connection to Toka Burgat. And Tsuruba attacks him, or verbally attacks him. It's not as if my brother only uses terrible people. You should know this. Many were used, myself included. And Eisetsu's kind of taken aback at that. I assume that he has to know that Toka used Tsuruba during that whole incident. I'm kind of, is he shocked at just the violence of Tsuruba's outburst, or is he just or is he somehow unaware that Toka's own brother was a part of Toka's plot? I'm not sure. Anyway, Tsuruba asks, what is the name of your acquaintance? And Eisetsu pauses for a moment before answering, Kageya Elise. Elise? The same name as the knight. The guest who was in the room with her at the soiree has been unconscious. Eh? According to Miss Shirayuki, is the effect of the perfume. I guess Tsuruba left before she woke up, so he doesn't really know any of that stuff. But Eisetsu's kind of stunned at that. And then Tsuruba continues, at any rate, let's head back for now. They turn around and see, or Eisetsu kind of looks over the bandits. No, Tsuruba looks at them, and Eisetsu asks, what's wrong? Well, do you have anything we can tie them up with? A belt, I guess. But who are these men? Well, they didn't tell us, but... and Tsuruba takes down one of their masks. He seems to recognize him. Maybe he's a Burgat, possibly, or related to Toka in some way. Toka's been in jail this whole time, right? It's been a long while since I've dealt with Toka Burgat. And that's notably one of my least favorite. It was just an arc that just did not really work for me for some reason. I just felt it didn't really flow that well, as I recall. Again, been a long time. I'm scrounging up year-old memories. So I don't quite remember where... I'm pretty sure Toka is in jail, or is either in jail or on the run, but I'm pretty sure he's in jail. Anyway, where was I? Like I said, I'm kind of regaining my memories of the series as we're running. I tried to prep a good bit, but I'm not perfect. Anyway, we see Tsuruba from a distance, in that kind of way that's like someone's watching him kind of style, and Tsuruba notices someone watching him, and then gets out of the way of what looks like an arrow, and then calls to Eisetsu, get down! And we see the arrow plunge into a tree. And Eisetsu tries to back up, but he trips on a sword and falls into a ravine. Way to go, Eisetsu. Tsuruba calls for him, Lord Eisetsu! But he can't go help him because he's kind of being held down by the archer. Damn it! And we see the pitter-patter of rain, I think? Or maybe it's... I don't know. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, because it doesn't look like it's raining. But I'm not sure what would be making that pitter-patter sound effect. But anyway, it's time to go back to Eisetsu flashback to hopefully get some answers as to whatever the fuck is going on with Kageya. Lady Kageya, what happened? What could have happened? What's wrong? So this is some time ago. I'm guessing it's Eisetsu coming out of the carriage. And we see a woman crouched at the side of the road, which is probably Kageya. Kageya looks up at him, tears in her eyes. And Eisetsu is kind of stunned. And then just says, you'll catch a chill out here. Thank you for your concern. I'll be on my way, so no need to worry. Hold on. And then she turns to go away. Wait, you're not well. And then he sees what looks like a hole in the end of her dress. It looks kind of like a burn to me. But maybe it's just supposed to show that it's kind of ratty and poor. Could it be... Were you there for the fire 3 days prior? Okay, so yeah, it is meant to be burns. Yes, the manor employed me. In that case, I'll escort you. No, thank you. Due to the fire, there was no work to be done. They told me to pack my things and leave, which is why I'm here. That's not very nice. That's kind of a shitty thing to do. You were cast out? That's terrible. I'll have a word with them. Kageya just looks at him and then asks, and you are? Haha. And you? He distinctly deflects that. Okay. I'm Kageya Elise. Lady Kageya. Can I help you with something? And then Kageya stares at him for a while and then just asks, in that case, do you have a garden? Huh? Oh, what? As he just I guess the idea just never even occurred to him. A garden. A garden? There was an inn nearby, so I escorted her and listened to her story. Turned out Lady Kageya was a gardener. When she lost her employment, she asked around at various homes to see if there were any opportunities, she said. Eisetsu is kind of shocked at that. You did that right away? That's impressive. There's nothing impressive about it. I need money. So we're seeing here kind of a stark class distinction between them. You know, Eisetsu, even if Eisetsu understands that she's, lower class, she has to work, he's still stunned that, it's that sudden. Kage's yeah, I need to get a new job. But for Eisetsu, it's okay, I had never, you immediately found a new job? I don't know, goes to show a class distinction there. And then Eisetsu asks, for what? I mean, to live. Money can be exchanged for goods and services, Eisetsu. But Kage kind of like holds her hands together and pauses and then says, "A year ago, my husband passed away, and so I don't want to worry him." Okay, I kind of grossly underestimated her age. I figured they were both like teenagers here. But she's got to be a good bit old, like early. Like I'm guessing, I still can't really see her being more than older than like early 20s. Anyway, and Asetsu's kind of stunned at that and looks down. So then, was that why you were crying? And Kaguya turns back to him. No, my husband brought me great cheer. Um, and Eisetsu, we see more of Eisetsu's monologue. I didn't want her to be by the side of the road again tomorrow, and I had the words to prevent that from happening. So I said them. Lady Kageya, it so happens that I have a garden. Alright, so we're starting to... I'm expecting some kind of... I don't know, maybe romantic vibe to blossom between them. And so we see Kageya in the garden, tilling the field. I think that's Shu with her. Oh no, it's Eisetsu and Shu who see Kageya working in the garden. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, the pants. The pants should give it away. We see her, carrying plants around. Eisetsu watches, and he sees Kageya's, like, laughing face, and just lets out a, haha. And then Eisetsu runs down to talk to her. Lady Kageya, are you running errands? I'll come too. I wanted to assist her in her goal to save money, but no matter what I said or what I tried to give her, she would take no more than her salary. Then just, like, raise her salary, dude. It's not that hard. Unless there'd be, like, some social issues with the other serpents or something, I don't know. I don't know enough about roughly Victorian era nobility, or not Victorian, more, I don't know, what era is, like, it doesn't really feel medieval to me. But Victorian is definitely wrong, I should not have said that. I guess medieval is closest, maybe mid-Renaissance, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here about nothing, because it's what I do when I make a mistake and record a video at 12:30 in the morning, where we are tonight, friends. I'll try to keep this streamlined, don't worry, especially with a 47-page chapter in front of us. That's fun. Anyway, no matter what I said or what I tried to give her, she would take no more than her salary. You are kind. However, your concern is unnecessary. But I want to help you. Isn't there something I can do? And Kaguya sighs. Then, bring me some flower seedlings. Seedlings? I'm very happy you're so thoughtful towards one such as myself, and so surely, caring for those flowers will remind me of that thoughtfulness, and they'll bring me cheer. And Eisetsu is just kind of shocked at that. And then smiles. Got it. And then runs away. And then Kaguya also runs in the opposite direction, and we see her at work. The garden gained a reputation amongst the guests. The fact that Lady Kaguya was well praised for her passionate maintenance made me happy as well. I would even talk about the plants and fruits I learned about. So I can almost see a parallel here between Eisetsu and Kageya and Zen and Shirayuki. Like there are distinct differences. It's a much simpler story how Eisetsu and Kageya meet compared to Zen and Shirayuki's. But either way, you have a noble who finds a commoner girl, who has a way with plants, takes her into their estate, and then maybe romance ensues. Again, we'll see more on the Eisetsu Kageya side, but definitely for Zen and Shirayuki. I don't know, I'm curious if there's going to be some kind of, if that's an intentional parallel, or if it's just a random thing. I don't know. And then a rumor arose. The lovely widow at Rugilia Manor has become a topic of conversation. Someone tries to initiate conversation with her when visiting, it seems. This is Shu, who's talking to Eisetsu. And how do they know she's a widow? And then Shu pauses. This is where it gets bad. The one who spoke so openly about Lady Kageya was someone from her previous employment. They said the employees were her captives. They said if someone seemed interested in her, she would seduce them. Okay, I'm guessing this turns out to not be true. Because, Eisetsu's shock at Kageya being involved with Toka does not seem to really fit if she's seducing her fellow employees. But the worst was that the vile rumors didn't end there. They said that after the fire that made her leave, several valuables as well as money were announced missing. And so we see at like a ball or something. I guess this noble guy has started spreading these rumors about Kageya, and Eisetsu just decks him. Okay. We see Eisetsu like huffing over this knocked out noble. The rumors ran rampant. The heir of Rugilia appears obsessed with her. She's been deceived by a woman who aims to marry for wealth. And then we see Eisetsu just like lying on the grass. I was powerless. They knew nothing about her kindness. And Kageya has approached him. So it's reached you too, Lord Eisetsu. And Eisetsu tells her, "Don't say you're leaving." And Kageya looks down at Eisetsu and smiles sadly. And we see Eisetsu's face kind of hardens as Kageya starts to cry. And it looks like Eisetsu like gives her a head pat, is what it looks like there. It would be better if she did. Yeah, I mean, I guess for noble, keeping up appearances, it might be. And then we cut back to Eisetsu and Shu. Let's give her a sizable sum. Let's sell everything in the house. We only show guests a few of the rooms anyway. And Shu counters, "You're joking, surely. The Lord would disown you. It's unlikely anyone here would employ her again now. And not like she would accept. Excuse me, Lord Eisetsu, are you listening?" And Eisetsu is kind of lost in thought at his plan being shot down. The heir of Rugilia appears obsessed with her. After that, I was grounded for an incident, but even after that was over, I didn't go out on my own errands. I refused all invitations. I avoided speaking to any young ladies of other houses. So it looks like they haven't fired Kageya. Maybe because of that, it's unlikely anyone would employ her again. But he is kind of staying away from her. Because the next scene we see is Eisetsu sitting on the stairs and Kageya tending her garden and looking at him. And then she looks at the flower that she planted, the one to remind her of Eisetsu, I'm assuming, and then looks up to the sky. And then we have another conversation between Shu and Eisetsu. Do you plan to make Lady Kageya your wife, Lord Eisetsu? That's what several people have been asking. Many even imagine you prepare to elope. And then there's a knock on the door, and someone comes in. Lord Eisetsu, your father requests your presence. And we see Eisetsu and his father, I suppose, though we've never seen his father before, out in the snow. Aren't you cold? I should have had us meet inside. And Eisetsu tells him, I'm fine. Lord Eisetsu, what's the matter? Your face. Oh no, this is Kageya! I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. I figured this would be the scene with the father. It is not the scene with the father. It's a scene with Kageya. That makes more sense. Lord Eisetsu, what's the matter? Your face. We see that Eisetsu is bandaged on his cheek. My father is concerned about me, and so he plans to dismiss you. He asked me to convince you to leave. And then Kageya is shocked at that. You said not to go. In my case, as the eldest son of a lord, I can't afford to fall into disrepute. I'm the one with the problem. I'm deeply sorry. And then he hands her a bag of coins. This is 3 years' pay. Will you please take this and leave? I can't urge her any more than that. If I do, I'm certain she'll refuse it. Please, take it. I beg you. Please. And she takes the money. Don't cry anymore. And then Kageya looks down at the money. I understand how you feel, Lord Eisetsu. And then Eisetsu feels like a stab of pain, like emotionally. She's not actually stabbed him. Truly? And then we see like the dump of his heart. Just how much do you understand? I couldn't ask her. I couldn't ask her at all. Perhaps if it wasn't properly spoken, then it would be the same as if my feelings didn't exist. So yeah, this kind of we're seeing even more parallels as I'm trying to fish back to the early days of the series. Um, but like with Zen and Shirayuki, how a lot of the nobles were very opposed to that relationship, and they were able to push through it in a way that Eisetsu and Kageya really weren't. Um, and so again, we're kind of seeing that parallel being set up, and I'm curious if, like, at this point, I if Zen were an active part of this arc, I'd be like, yes, that's where the story is going. It's just that's like a parallel that will come into play going forward. But because Zen had like that very brief cameo, right, during the ball where we met Eisetsu, right? Um, and that's kind of all he's done, all arc. I don't know. I don't know. Unless Zen comes in for this arc and plays a major role going forward. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, then it'll be the same as if my feelings didn't exist. And then we see another scene with Shu coming in. Are you alright, Lord Eisetsu? And Eisetsu is just morosely staring out the window. Sure. For a while, my relationship with my father turned sour. There were persistent rumors that I had thrown her out, but I had no reason to dissuade them. I just didn't care anymore. And now we come back to the present. So that's kind of how Kageya and Eisetsu have left off. Which definitely does a lot to color in that reunion scene from last chapter. You know, the woman you were in love with has now come back, and she's working for a known treason committer, treasonous person, and is hypnotizing people. So this has been a really good chapter to get into Eisetsu's mindscape. Anyway, we hear a voice. Are you alright? And it's Shirayuki who has found him. Put a pillow under his head, apparently. Lord Eisetsu! And he opens his eyes. Shirayuki. And Shirayuki, like, binds up a wound, and then he sits up. Ow, ow, ow. Where does it hurt? My whole body. Where's Sir Tsuruba? And then Tsuruba says, Here, I'm glad you're awake. And Eisetsu notes him, and then he just asks, You came after me? Did you come down all that? I mean, if it's only one hill, and he's kind of a knight, he should probably be able to do that. I'm sorry, causing you such trouble. And Obi asks, Are you okay now? We need to know what happened. And Eisetsu responds, Yes. And then he flashes back to, it has an image, or we see an image of Kaguya in her carriage. And then some time has passed, and I'm guessing Eisetsu has told them all, at the very least, who was in the carriage, and I'm guessing even all the flashback stuff. Or at least enough of it to have the context as to who Kageya is. So we see Obi, Tsuruba, and Shirayuki are all talking about it. There's a strong chance this Kageya person has gone back to Sir Yozumi. And Tsuruba responds, Where is Yozumi Elise now? And then Shirayuki responds, Either at Fiano, where the Order of Knights is, or at Lord Eisetsu's mansion. I have a translator note, unsure if Fiano is a place or a Japanese pronunciation of something. I'm assuming it's a place, because there's that Where's Order of Knights is, which implies like a town or a city or something. I don't know. If he comes about the perfume, if they ask for Ryu, and then Obi kind of pauses for a minute. I'm curious about the he line, because it seems like she's saying unless it's Yozumi. Oh, if Yozumi comes to, hold on, I'm trying to sentence this out, because my first thought is, if Kageya comes to Yozumi about the perfume and then finds Ryu, he could be in danger, because Kageya is a threat in a way we don't quite understand, but we know enough about to know that she is a threat, right? But if he is not a misspelling or mistranslation, then it would have to be Yozumi. And I can't quite figure out how to make that sentence work with what we know about Yozumi. Especially given that we don't know that Yozumi is coming anywhere? Question mark? Unless I've forgotten that. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Anyway, I'm assuming it's she, and just a misspelling. And Obi's kind of silent for a moment before saying, "Something's happening. Let's head back to Regalia Estate as fast as we can while staying unseen." And Tsuruba tells them, "I'll look into this attack. If my memory is correct, I have a lead. Probably about the face he saw." And then Tsuruba turns to Eisetsu. "You should head back to your estate as well, Lord Eisetsu." And Eisetsu looks up at them, kind of smiling sadly, and then Obi turns to him. "I have 2 questions. Why didn't you inform us you had an acquaintance by the name of Elise?" And Shirayuki flashes back to him saying, "Elise? It couldn't be. I thought a coincidence. Or more accurately, I couldn't conceive of the idea that she was involved in this. It's likely because I haven't seen her in ages. She was someone I trusted. So even though tonight I met her as the possible Madame Lyra, I thought she might still correct the misconception. I thought if I were to get in the carriage with her, she would be able to talk to me. She had other ideas." I like that little face he gives. Like, yeah, her other idea was stabbing you in the arm. I'm curious here though about one word on this line, possible Madame Lyra. Is that meant to be something that we take seriously? Like, is it she might still not be Madame Lyra, or is it she definitely is, and Eisetsu is just so in love with Kageya that he still can't really view her as a guilty party? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. And so Obi says, "Understood. So then what now? Will you come with us?" And Eisetsu kind of looks at him. "You said you got in that carriage of your own accord. If you've done anything else, we'll hear you out." And Eisetsu kind of like twitches as he like holds himself. "I haven't, but I won't go with you." "Why is that?" "I've already acted selfishly once, acting independently of our agreed plan. Even if I came up with a reason to join you again, it surely wouldn't be out of goodwill." "A reason?" And then Eisetsu says, "If something were to happen to you all at the estate in my absence, it wouldn't look good for me." So hold on, that's a weird thing, because if let me think this out. Because if something were to happen, he's saying he's not going with them. But then if something happened while he wasn't with them, it would look bad for him. So then why not just go with them, right? Unless I'm not seeing something, which I don't think I'm missing anything. I think that's just how that sentence is plotted out. Unless it's a translation error, which it might be. I don't know. Not gonna criticize the translators. This is a really scummy thing to do because again they're doing this for free and all yada yada yada. But it might be a translation error. I don't know. Anyway, if something were to happen to you all at the estate in my absence, it wouldn't look good for me. For example, and then there's a bit of a pause, and then Shirayuki says, "Lord Aset," and then he just cuts her off. "What? This is just like when we first met. Did something happen? This is just how I am. I act based on benefit. That's why I don't want to go. I only see things in terms of my own benefit or deficit. Even working with you is for my own sake. I'll stay behind." Yeah, it's true. It's just like when we met. You believe in your prince and work hard for him, so you won't just run away." And then he starts shouting, "You still feel that way, even though you're helping me. And it's because I'm a lord you came to ask a favor of. Despite the fact that you said this is unrelated, Shirayuki. Got a complaint?" And they're all stunned. I'm trying to fish back my memories at the beginning of this arc, like pre-hiatus, pre me catching up to the series. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happened in that first scene. You still feel that way even though you're helping me. And it's because I'm a lord you came to ask a favor of. Right, because they originally came to him to spread the Olamaris replacement. That's the name I forget. Despite the fact that you said this is unrelated, Shirayuki. Got a complaint? So I think he's complaining about, there's no reason for her to be helping. Because she says that her helping with this is unrelated to her request, right? I think I had that right. And then he turns to Obi. Well, and you, Sir Obi, you still don't trust me one bit, do you? Well, same here. And Obi's just kind of stunned. Have nothing to say? Well, then I'll go on. I hate the fact that I make decisions based on my own desires. Okay, that's a twist. That's a shift. Who in their right mind would work with you all just because I find you a little bit trustworthy, or a little bit amusing when I talk with you? It's all strategic. It's all self-protection. It's all my position. You're going to think that anyway. It's easier for that to be the truth. It's more just... Moreover, who says I need to be a good person? I tried hard, but just how are you supposed to do that? So it seems more like he's saying, they're already going to think I'm scummy, I'm just doing this for myself, so why not just do it for myself anyway? Which might... I'm trying to figure out if I can tie this to the rumors that spread about him back when Kageya was his employee. Possibly. It's something to ponder. Just how are you supposed to do that? This is it. This is who I really am. I wouldn't believe you don't have a problem with it. And the three of them all just kind of stare at each other silently for a minute as Eisetsu just pants out of breath and then collapses onto a rock and holds curls up into a ball. How exhaustingly disappointing. And Shirayuki just stares at him in shock. And everyone is just kind of silent for a minute. They all look at each other. And Obi walks over to Eisetsu and sits down next to him. And Shirayuki squats in front of Eisetsu. Please don't cry. And Eisetsu just silent for a minute. Obi looks away. And then Obi continues, you lied, and you also put on an act, but you've also said things we can trust, even now. And Eisetsu just kind of is silent, and then says, you don't have to pity me. What a pain you are. And Shirayuki just smiles at this kind of interaction, and then Obi stands up. Young miss, Tsuruba, let's get going. Right. Lord Eisetsu, if you really aren't coming. And then she holds up her hand, and we flash back to their high five scene from a while ago. And Eisetsu kind of slowly puts his hand up and twitches. You must. The way you really feel is important. And Eisetsu is kind of stunned at that. So you can stand tall. We see an image of a younger Eisetsu. I don't remember that scene in the flashback. And then Eisetsu kind of smacks her hand and then stares at her fiercely. Looks at her fiercely and grabs her hand. He's coming with her. He's gonna deal with this problem. He hid this. He has to deal with it now. To be continued, February 24th. Which means that this chapter is supposed to come out December 24th. And then it only got translated yesterday, I think. But that means that they also took January off? Is this just a bi-monthly series now? I don't know. I hope not. Because I need that momentum to keep up with shit. Anyway, this was a really, really, really fun chapter. I'm not going to spend too long talking about it because I already spent 33 minutes talking about it. I was not expecting it to go this long, but in a talk-heavy series like Akagami, that's 45 pages, plus the two little LMGS pages. That just happens sometimes. So anyway, we get a little bit of action in the beginning. It's not a big thing. It's just kind of sort of dealing with the bandits. And then they kind of confront each other about Eisetsu going off book, and how Eisetsu's feelings for Kageya have kind of gotten in the way. And then Eisetsu falls and is knocked unconscious. We have a little bit with the archer, which adds some more mystery. Tsuruba definitely realizes the bandits. I think he's somehow related to the Burgats, especially because he seemed to also be after Kageya. There's this archer who shows up for 5 seconds. And then we go into Flashback Land. And Flashback Land is very clearly the highlight of the chapter. As we really get to see a nice, good, self-contained story about Eisetsu and Kageya's relationship and where they come from, how they are, like how they got where they are, or not even, not even how. Sorry, I'm. What happens when you talk for 35 straight minutes and it's 12:47 in the morning? I get my words mixed up. Let me think. Where was I? Shit. How they were, and what makes like the love they had for each other, the rumors they kind of had to fight off, and why it makes Eisetsu so stunned that she would be working for Toka. Though, as Tsuruba says, Toka doesn't only use bad people. Um, and then we have Eisetsu kind of being taken to task for both going off book and hiding the fact that he knew the Elise family before meeting Yozumi, and they kept that from them. And he tries to kind of play it off with this whole, I'm the bad guy, I'm just kind of a piece of shit, aren't I? And I'm very glad that no one kind of takes him seriously. Just like, shut up, you're not, you're just, okay, come on, let's get going. Obi's instantly, you've said things we can trust even now, which is clearly his attempt to kind of, make him feel better. It doesn't really work very well, because he's just, you don't have to pity me, and then Obi gets mad and kind of walks off. Shirayuki does. They go back to their little high-five gesture, and then Shirayuki gives him, the way you feel is important, which is an important message, and then he realizes that, like, he kind of, my reading of it is that he has to kind of make amends for the information he's kept hidden, for going off book, for kind of screwing things up. And that kind of brings us into next chapter, which I hope will be translated faster. If so, we're only like 2 weeks away from it. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say beyond that. This is just a really, really good chapter. The flashback is a highlight, of course, but everything that comes after is still good too, as we kind of have a re-resolution of goals, right? As we move into the next phase of the arc, while getting all the important information we need to kind of set up the Eisetsu Kageya dynamic. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got. This is definitely one of my longer videos. Congrats to y'all for sticking through it. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!